Life, in all its mystery and complexity, often appears to us as though it is shaped by chance, luck, or fate. Some call it destiny, others call it circumstance. But if we look closely, honestly, quietly, without excuses, we discover a truth both liberating and sobering. Life is nothing more and nothing less than a reflection of our own choices. Every decision we make, no matter how small, sends ripples outward into the future. The food we eat, the words we speak, the books we read, the companions we choose, the work we dedicate ourselves to, all of these decisions accumulate brick by brick into the structure of our lives. You are, this very moment, living in a house you have built with your past choices, and tomorrow you will awaken in the house you build today. This truth is not meant to weigh us down, but to set us free. For if life were only the result of chance, then we would all be powerless passengers, tossed upon waves with no control. But choice is the rudder of the ship. Choice is the pen with which we write the story. Choice is the key that either locks us into mediocrity or opens the door to greatness. No man wakes up one morning a success or a failure by accident. Success and failure are not events. They are the inevitable result of countless small choices made consistently over time. The man who reads, studies, improves, and works with diligence, he will not be surprised when opportunity arrives, for he has prepared himself for it. Likewise, the man who neglects his responsibilities, wastes his time, and postpones effort will one day find himself facing consequences that he himself authored. The remarkable thing about choice is that it is always in our possession. We may not control the seasons, the weather, or the circumstances of the world, but we always control our response. We choose our attitude, our habits, our effort, and our direction, and in choosing, we are painting on the canvas of our lives. The writer Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." And that is the heart of it. Destiny is not written in the stars, it is written in our daily decisions. A man blames his misfortune on others, forgetting that it was his choices that steered him there. Another envies his neighbor's success, failing to see the choices of discipline, sacrifice, and persistence that made it possible. Life reflects back to us not what we wish for, not what we dream about, but what we choose, consistently, deliberately, or carelessly. Now here is where it becomes deeply important. Every choice carries a hidden seed of consequence. Sometimes the harvest comes quickly, sometimes it takes years, but it always comes. Choices are causes, and life delivers the effects. That is why no man can escape his decisions. They trail behind him like shadows, and eventually they catch up. But let us not only dwell on the weight of this truth, let us see its power. For if you wish to change your life, you need only begin changing your choices. If you desire health, begin choosing foods, habits, and movements that create it. If you desire wealth, begin choosing learning, service, and disciplined work. If you desire peace of mind, begin choosing thoughts that are calm, grateful, and constructive. The mirror of life is honest. It reflects faithfully what we put into it. If you do not like the reflection, you need not curse the mirror, you must change the choices. And so, the central idea we will explore is this: life bends to the power of choice. Each of us is the architect of his own fortune, the builder of his own fate, the author of his own story. And while we cannot go back and change yesterday's decisions, we can begin today, right now, to make new ones, better ones, wiser ones. For in the end, life is not what happens to us. Life is what we choose. And the sum of those choices will become the legacy we leave, the character we embody, and the destiny we fulfill. Why your daily choices create your destiny. Destiny is not a sudden arrival. It is a road quietly paved, step by step, by the decisions you make each day. Each morning when you rise, you are presented with a silent question: what will you do with today? And the answer, whether you recognize it or not, becomes the material from which your future is constructed. Most people imagine destiny as a grand event, something waiting for them at the end of the road. But in truth, destiny is being shaped in the small and ordinary hours. The man who chooses to linger in bed when he should be working, or the one who chooses idleness over effort, is as surely shaping his future as the one who spends his hours in study, in discipline, in labor. Both are architects, though their designs lead to very different ends. The choices may seem insignificant. reading a single page, saving a single coin, speaking a word of kindness, practicing a single skill. But over time, these decisions are like drops of water falling on stone. They leave their mark, they carve out character, they form habits, and habits once formed become the invisible steering wheel of life. Aristotle once observed, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. What he meant is that greatness is never the product of a single dramatic choice. It is the sum of many small, consistent decisions. The farmer does not harvest abundance by planting once. He tends the field every day, watering, pruning, protecting. In the same way, the man who tends his choices daily will one day reap a life of purpose and meaning. Think of the great structures of history, the cathedrals, the pyramids, the bridges that have stood for centuries. They were not raised in a single stroke, but stone by stone, brick by brick. And so it is with human life. Your destiny is not waiting somewhere far ahead. It is being laid right beneath your feet today, this hour, in the choices you are making. No one can make your choices for you. Circumstances may press upon you, opportunities may present themselves, difficulties may arise, but in the end, the direction you take belongs to you alone. That is why two men can live in the same town, under the same conditions, yet arrive at entirely different destinations, because one chose discipline, while the other chose ease. Your destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Each day's decisions are threads woven into the fabric of your future, and long after the day is gone, those threads remain, forming the pattern of your life. So if you wish to know your future, you need only look at your choices today, for today's decisions will walk beside you into tomorrow, and they will either lift you toward the life you seek or weigh you down with the life you allowed. The hidden cost of indecision and drifting. One of the greatest dangers in life is not failure, but drifting, moving without direction, postponing decisions, and allowing the current of circumstance to decide for you. Many men and women do not consciously choose defeat. They simply never choose at all. They wait, they delay, they hesitate, until the years quietly slip away, carrying with them the opportunities that once stood within reach. Indecision has a cost more subtle than a wrong decision. A wrong choice, at the very least, teaches a lesson and offers the chance to adjust. But indecision teaches nothing. It paralyzes action, it freezes growth, and in the end, it robs a man of the most precious resource he owns, his time. Think of a ship at sea. If the captain never sets a course, the vessel drifts with the winds and the tides. It may move, yes, but not toward a destination. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and soon the ship is far from where it might have been, carried not by will, but by accident. So it is with the human being who refuses to decide. Life will still move, the years will still advance, but without purpose, one wakes to find himself far from the harbor he once dreamed of reaching. The tragedy is that drifting feels easy. There is no burden in waiting, no effort in postponing. But ease is the mask of its danger. For each day of indecision seems harmless, yet together they accumulate into a wasted lifetime. And unlike money, which can be earned again, or possessions, which can be replaced, time once lost can never be recovered. There is also a quiet erosion of character in drifting. The man who repeatedly avoids decision loses faith in his own ability to act. He becomes timid, fearful, reliant on others to choose for him. And nothing diminishes human dignity more than surrendering the power of choice, the very gift that separates us from the rest of creation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." To drift is to never truly live, because life requires direction, commitment, and courage. So the cost of indecision is twofold: the loss of time and the loss of self. It is far better to choose and be wrong than to never choose at all. A wrong road can be corrected, a mistake can be turned into wisdom, but a drifting soul has no compass, no record, and no reward. Therefore, if you would live fully, you must dare to decide. Better a life of deliberate choices, even imperfect ones, than a life carried away by the tide of indecision. How to make choices aligned with your goals and values. Every choice we make is like a brick laid upon the road we walk. If those bricks are placed carelessly, the road leads nowhere worth going. But if they are placed with vision, with care, and with consistency, they carry us straight toward the life we were meant to build. The tragedy for most people is not that they lack the ability to choose, but that they choose without direction, reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. The first step in aligning decisions with your goals is to know, with clarity, what those goals are. A man without a destination cannot expect to choose the right road. Too often, people labor under borrowed ambitions, dreams handed down by society, by family, or by comparison to others. But choices built on another's foundation rarely satisfy. They may bring comfort, even respect, but seldom fulfillment. To make aligned choices, you must first ask yourself, what do I truly want? What principles guide my life? Values serve as the compass, goals as the map. When you know what you stand for and where you are going, decisions become less a torment and more a test of faithfulness. Should you spend your energy here or there? Should you say yes or no? The answer reveals itself in light of whether that choice advances your mission or betrays it. Of course, the aligned path is not always the easiest. The lure of shortcuts, applause, and convenience will tempt you. Yet every compromise against your own values is like steering your ship off course. The deviation may seem small today, but carried forward, it leads to an entirely different destination. A man can win the world and still lose himself if he has traded his values along the way. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Examining your life means weighing each choice against what you claim to value. Do your daily actions reflect the person you say you want to become? If not, the misalignment will always leave you restless, no matter the apparent success. Why taking responsibility unlocks freedom and growth. Responsibility is often misunderstood. Many see it as a burden, a weight to be carried, something to avoid if possible. Yet, in truth, responsibility is not a chain, but a key. It is the very thing that unlocks freedom. Only the man who accepts responsibility for his life can ever truly direct it. When you refuse responsibility, you hand over control. You blame circumstances, luck, or other people for your condition. In doing so, you surrender the power to change it. But the moment you say, "I am where I am because of the choices I have made," you reclaim authority over your future. That admission may sting, but it is liberating, because if your past was shaped by your own decisions, then your tomorrow can be shaped by new ones. Growth, too, is impossible without responsibility. A child grows when he learns to care for himself. A worker advances when he accepts more duties. A leader emerges when he carries the weight of others. Each new level of maturity requires the acceptance of greater responsibility. To avoid it is to remain small. To embrace it is to expand. The paradox is striking. By taking on more, you actually become freer. Free from excuses. Free from waiting for rescue. Free from the paralyzing belief that life happens only to you. Responsibility transforms you from passenger to captain, from spectator to participant. The world honors the man who stands up and says, "I will answer for my life," not because he is perfect, but because he is willing to own both his triumphs and his failures. That courage alone separates the weak from the strong. So if freedom is your desire and growth your aim, do not run from responsibility, run toward it. It is the price of independence and the gateway to becoming all you were meant to be. The mindset shift that separates leaders from followers. What distinguishes a leader from a follower is not position, nor title, nor the accident of circumstance. It is mindset. Two people may stand side by side facing the same challenge, yet one waits to be told what to do, while the other decides what must be done. The difference lies not in opportunity, but in outlook. Followers see limits. Leaders see possibilities. A follower asks, "Can this be done?" A leader asks, "How shall it be done?" That subtle shift in questioning changes everything. Where one waits for permission, the other takes initiative. Where one hesitates for proof, the other acts in faith. The leader does not wait for perfect conditions because he knows they rarely arrive. He moves, and by moving creates conditions where progress becomes possible. Meanwhile, the follower waits, hoping the path will appear on its own. And while he waits, life passes him by. Leadership begins the moment you assume responsibility for the direction of your own life. It requires courage to think independently, to stand apart from the crowd, to decide without the comfort of consensus. This is why so few ever do it. The follower seeks security in numbers, but the leader seeks truth, even if he must walk alone. The mindset of leadership is not arrogance, it is service. True leaders understand that their strength exists to benefit others. They lead not by command, but by example. Their lives say, "Here is the way, walk with me." And in doing so, they awaken courage in others who might otherwise remain dormant. The world has never lacked followers. It has always lacked those willing to think, decide, and act with vision. To step from follower to leader, you need not wait for recognition. The shift begins in your own mind, refusing to let life merely happen to you, and daring instead to shape it. In that moment, you cease being carried by the tide, and become the one who charts the course. How to break free from destructive patterns and start fresh. Every life contains patterns, habits of thought and action repeated so often they begin to shape our destiny. Some patterns serve us, building strength, discipline, and achievement, but others silently sabotage us, chaining us to disappointment, regret, and frustration. The question is not whether patterns exist, but whether we control them or they control us. A destructive pattern always begins in small ways. A single neglected task, a single compromise, a single excuse, repeated day after day until it hardens into a cycle. And the most dangerous part? It feels familiar. The human mind clings to the familiar, even when it harms us, because the unknown appears frightening. Thus, many people live year after year trapped by the same habits, not because they cannot escape, but because they never decide to. To break free, you must first become aware. Nothing changes until it is brought into the light. Look at your days with honesty. Ask, what choices am I repeating that keep me exactly where I am? Recognition is the first strike against the chains. Second, you must replace, not merely remove. Nature does not tolerate emptiness. If you uproot an old habit but plant nothing in its place, the weeds of the past will grow again. Replace delay with decisive action. Replace self-doubt with purposeful thought. Replace idleness with discipline. Third, understand the power of a fresh beginning. The past has no authority except the one you give it. The man who starts anew with clear resolve is stronger than the man who drags yesterday's failures like weights behind him. Freedom is never found in reliving old mistakes. It is found in using them as lessons to build a different tomorrow. Do not wait for a perfect moment to begin again. Begin now, this very day, this very hour. As the old saying reminds us, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You are not condemned to repeat destructive cycles. You are capable of writing a new pattern, one choice at a time. And with each choice, you step further away from what held you captive and closer to the life you were meant to live. So, examining how decisions shape destiny, how persistence forges character, how responsibility opens the gates of freedom, and how a single shift in mindset can transform a follower into a leader. And through it all, one truth has stood like a mountain. Your life is not determined by chance, but by choice. Every day, life whispers a simple question. What will you do with the time given to you? Some answer with hesitation, others with excuses, but the few, the very few, answer with deliberate action. They choose wisely, and by choosing, they rise above drifting. The secret, then, is not hidden in distant lands, nor in the hands of others. It is within you. The power to change, to grow, to break free, and to begin anew lies no further than the choices you make today. If your past has been filled with destructive patterns, let today be the day you choose a different road. If you have been waiting for permission, let today be the day you grant it to yourself. Remember, no one else can walk this journey for you, and that is not a burden, it is your greatest gift. For it means your future is not chained to yesterday. It means you can step forward, starting now, into a life that reflects your highest values and deepest vision. So choose with courage, choose with clarity, choose with conviction, because in the end, the life you live will be nothing more and nothing less than the sum of the choices you dared to make. Be the better version of yourself. Spread love, share knowledge, live with wisdom, and care for the people around you.